Hello and welcome to Dragon Boat Dynasty, a podcast where I share my experience in building, coaching and scaling a Dragon Boat team. My name is Sean and I'm the outgoing head coach of Argonaga Dragon Boat team with over 100 active members based in Malaysia. I remember our early days, very early days in the team. Every single time after a race set, we will have a debrief session to kind of like dissect the things that we did, what happened during the race set, what are the mistakes that we made, what did we do right, what did we do wrong, and how can we improve on it. So during those early days, the debriefs are very long. There were a lot of stuff to talk about. Always something would go wrong. Every single time we execute a set, something would go wrong. And if this person does it right the next set, then the next person will do something wrong again, and on and on and on. So it was very difficult for us to execute a proper set. And during those days, executing the perfect set was to us as elusive as a unicorn. I remember there was one time when, if you listen to one of the past episodes, you remember when I talk about during a race in Putrajaya where I screamed at the team. I asked them, all I asked for is a perfect set. So that was a time when we started striving to achieve perfection in our sets. And over the past 2 seasons, just the recent 2 seasons, I've noticed that Boat A especially, their focus evolved from struggling in multiple areas during race set to making a lot of refinement towards achieving the perfect execution at every single set. And initially I was very happy with the achievement because, finally we were able to achieve a perfect set, right? And every error that we fixed shaved milliseconds from our clock. And we were able to perform. We were able to give the best that we can give together as a unit. But then something started to worry me. Initially, I didn't quite understand how to explain it. I didn't know what it meant. I thought it was just me overthinking things and, being a little bit too, thinking too deeply about a lot of stuff. One of the pointers was that the debriefs were not as constructive as they used to be. It was shorter. There was actually nothing much to debrief about. They would come back and they'll say, okay, how was this? It was good. How was that? It was good. How was that? It was good. Okay, that's it. So during the 2022 Penang race, I joined the boats to do debrief and something shocked me. They would shrug and they would tell me there's nothing to debrief. That was the best set that we could execute. And I was like, can't be. There has to be something that is wrong. It can't be perfect. If we're executing such perfect sets every single time, why isn't our timing improving? Why isn't it getting better like we expect it to be? And that was when I started getting worried because I knew there was a problem now. My hunch was correct, but I didn't know what it was exactly, and I didn't know how to fix it because I didn't know what's the problem, so I didn't know how to fix it, right? And we spent so many years and worked so hard to achieve perfection. And now that we're here, it doesn't feel right. It just feels lacking. It feels weird to have already achieved perfection. So then I realized something. Striving for perfection means that we stop pushing our boundaries. Striving for perfection means we're standing still and we're refining the edges around us. It means that we stop challenging ourselves. So it's all right if we are doing it for ourselves only. But every single time we go to a competition, if we are not moving forward, we are actually moving backwards because everybody else is improving by leaps and bounds. And when we are so focused on refining the edges around us, forming a perfect circle around us, we stop moving. We are no longer improving. We are just perfecting our surrounding. It was as if we've accepted that our timing is as good as it will ever be. There's nothing we can do to improve it, and perfecting it is the only means of getting better timing. And I think it meant that we've grown comfortable where we are. So at the end of season 2022, we promised that we will be brutally honest with our shortcomings, because that is the only way to improve. We cannot give ourselves any more excuses for not giving the best that we can give. And only by doing so, only by being brutally honest with everything that is happening to us, that we can address all these things, all our shortcomings, and we can actually be better the next season, and so on and so on. I was standing with the women's boat A as they were planning for the 2023 Penang race. So one pacer said that she felt that the boat was able to give more power. But the other paddlers insisted she don't ramp up the stroke, because it may cause the boat to give shorter strokes and then more shallow strokes, and all these things will cascade and it ultimately lead to loss of timing and power. I agreed with the other paddlers, because at that point of time, the first reaction is, yes, it makes sense, right? Because we needed to execute a perfect set in order to have a higher chance of winning. But there was this other side that was nagging at me. Are we getting too afraid of mistakes? Are we playing it too safe? Because at that point, at our worst, we are semi-finalists. And at our best, we are semi-finalists. What risk is there not worth taking? Then in 2023, the men's boat A in Penang, they did a 400-meter race, and then they were faced with a major setback. There was a cross current that the steerer did not account for, and the boat left the race lane, and it was in a collision course with another boat 2 lanes away. And she made the call to stop the boat, steer the boat back to the right direction. And at that one point, when the boat was restarting, I was watching from the shore. The restart was the most beautiful race set I have ever seen in years. I felt the raw power and determination of all the paddlers from 500 meters away. There were no strategies. There was no strive for perfection. There was no calculation. Nobody cared how deep the paddle went. Everybody's paddle was as deep as they can go, because 10 individuals paddled as one unit for one purpose. And they fully trusted each other, and whatever strategy that the pacer gave, they would take it and they would give the best that they can. And at the end, from the last placing, mid-race, they almost win that heat. They just lost by a hairline. And at that point, I woke up from this confusion that was going on, this question that I had. That was what we were missing for the past 3 to 4 years. We missed our soul. We were striving for perfection. We were so calculative in every single thing we do, to a point where we forget that beyond all these little measurements that we have, little perfection that we strive for, little mistakes and errors that we take away, we are here to passionately give our hearts out. And that was why we were able to do so well in the beginning few years of our paddling years, because we focused on our heart instead of our head, and we forgot that. So at that point, I start asking questions, right? Can we start taking leaps and risk falling flat on our face again? Can we let go of our mediocre success so we can push to greater heights? Can we take the risk to have mistakes happen so that we can reach greater heights? Because if we always stay safe within the walls, we cannot move up. Are we able to allow the pacers who feel that the boat is strong enough and is able to push, right, to give them the green light, give them the pat in the back and say, yes, you can push the boat, take advantage? Can they be allowed to take a risk? can we have this opportunity that can we grow the team to a point where if there needs to be a change in strategy mid-race because an opportunity presents itself, the steerer sees the opportunity, the drummer sees the opportunity, can we be able to communicate to the entire boat this new strategy and execute it together mid-race? Or do we need to stay in this rigidness of just the race set is a race set, you can't change it, and every single word that comes out of everyone sounds like easy? Can we move past this and be free-flowing like the water? Can we not be so afraid of being yelled at by our teammates that we do not dare to take any risk? These were the things that I communicated to the team that evening itself. And ever since then, we've been trying to, I guess, provide a space for risks to be taken, for us to go back to our roots, unlearn the things, the systems and the structures that we have learned, that we have applied onto our team and ourselves, strip some of these things down, go back to the core, go back to the fundamentals, and reinvigorate our love for the sport, as opposed to getting so caught up with tactics and strategies and calculations and perfection. This is one of those things that we need to face with brutal honesty. We need to get careless again. Careless not in the sense that we need to be careless with our strokes, with our technique. No. A technique is the fundamental, right? It's the foundation, the bedrock of a good Dragon Boat team. So that has to be put aside. But when it comes to strategies, when it comes to pushing the limits, when it comes to taking risks, when someone raised their hand and they say, I think we can push, the response of the entire boat shouldn't be, no, we cannot. We cannot risk it because people will get out of control and things will happen. I think we should change it around and say, let's do this. But maybe not too much, scale it down by 30%. So we are taking risk, but calculated risk. We need to lean on the other side instead of getting so afraid. We need to get careless again. We need to push our limits, and we need to start making stupid mistakes again. Because it is through stupid mistakes that we discover new things. So yeah, in 2024, we haven't had a major race at this point, but I think what we need to do is to reinstill this approach to race strategies. Alright, that's all for this episode. I'll see you again in the next one. Bye.